So many times you hit some kind of barrier or wall thinking, this is it, this is my maximum, I've got nothing left. And then when you keep going and you hit that wall that you say you've got nothing left again and again and again, you realize that, wow, I had so much more than I thought I did.
Cry now. So hopefully we're going to see.
Don't make me do it again.
That's finished. That was perfect. Act, my friend. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Jill Spills. This week we are going to be spilling the tea on being a fitness model, fitness trainer and actor. Who better to talk to me about all this is the lovely Alex Crockford.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I'm very excited about
me
this.
Too. It's a comfortable sofa, actually.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking about getting a cushion with my face on it as well. I don't know if that will be for many people to...
It will. I'll definitely be back if you do that.
Thank you very much. So, as I say, you are a man of many strings to his bow, fitness trainer, fitness model, actor. You're also bringing out an app, which we're going to talk about further down in the conversation. Tell us, where did it all begin?
Where did it all begin? Asking me tough questions already. I don't know. I guess how far do you want to take back the story, really? But in relation to those things we've mentioned, probably being a personal trainer, going to university, getting full-time into personal training was the start. So sports and fitness was always a part of my life. And right then from the beginning, I was all in, very ambitious, very driven with becoming a very busy PT in the gym that I was working at. But when that was going well, I always had ambitions for what's next. What's the next thing I want to do, or how do I evolve this? I'm not very good at being boxed in or feeling like that I've reached the top of something. So when I didn't have any more hours to give as a personal trainer, I was like, what is next to either evolve myself or push myself or to earn more money or to reach more people? So that's where, fitness modeling was always a big, massive dream of mine. I was a teenage boy buying those fitness magazines thinking, how do I be that guy on the front? So it was always a bit of a mission of mine to make that happen. So I think that was probably happening alongside social media, like Instagram and Facebook was starting to become a thing as I was a busy personal trainer. And a lot of my friends were like either looking down at me or thinking, what are you doing? Like filming your workouts and stuff like that. So I was doing all of that at the same time. And those two strands kind of built up at the same time as I started to get a fitness model agent and started to get some jobs and work towards those goals at the same time as start to build a social media following as well. And then years and years of working at both of those things, I started to decrease the personal training and spend more time online and create my own online brand and business, which later became the app, which is out there now. And over time, removing the PT, making YouTube and Instagram my main focus, and a bit less fitness modeling in traditional sense and more just me turning up as my own brand on social media and less for companies and businesses. And we've all been through the years of like influencer marketing and all of that kind of. So I'm like going through those parts of my journey in very short, quick ways to be where I am now, which is a place where I want to show up the best for my own brand and my own platforms. Acting came about because from, I don't know, many years it was inside my mind, like I would really like to be an actor. I don't know where to start, and my fitness business and everything I've just been talking about was taking up all of my time, and I'm very driven and focused with that, and I couldn't really think about anything else. But the more years went by, I realized that nobody's gonna just give my goals to me for no reason. You've got to go out and make it happen. There's no perfect time, and these are the kind of things that I preach all the time. So it was time for me to follow what I preach, and that was take action on my goals, even if it doesn't feel like the right time, or it feels like a challenge, or it feels impossible. Just like those magazine covers felt impossible, or the burpee challenge felt impossible, that I know that you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
we're going to talk about
Yeah.
it.
So over many experiences, I realized that just because it feels like a real distant task, a real impossible achievement, doesn't mean you shouldn't go after it. So I started training as an actor, kind of quietly, secretly, for a couple of years behind the scenes, until it came to a point where I felt comfortable and confident enough to start to apply for some small, lower level roles, which is just a very different thing for me to do, spending like a decade in the fitness industry
Yeah.
to do something like this. Of course, with the experience of being in front of cameras and being a persona of some kind, there was still a lot of deconditioning and training and all sorts needed for me to actually take on acting. And then yeah, we're now a few projects kind of complete and experiences building up and things like that. So
Looking
we're
at the
at this.
next James Bond.
It's a goal and a dream and an impossible one.
Never
Like I
say
said.
never.
Exactly. So if anyone important out there is listening in, then you've got your next James Bond.
Oh my God, 007 on the couch. So going
Yeah.
back to your fitness modelling days, so you went in and you did your fitness job. Like, how old were you, and what was your first fitness modelling job? What did you do? Can you remember?
Yeah, I can remember the first paid professional fitness modeling job that I did. This was after like doing photo shoots for myself on my portfolio, but to actually get a job via an agency and to be paid to go and do this kind of work, it was a running job. It was for a running trainer brand, and we were sent to like Exeter in the where is it, Exmoor, or like in the
Okay.
yeah. It was beautiful, amazing, and I remember just running back and forward all day and thinking, wow, this is now my job. But it wasn't long after that I had a really cool other running job, but it was actually in Mallorca. So this was like another level of, oh my God, I can't believe this. I was being paid quite well to go on like a 3-day trip to Mallorca. I did a hard day's job running in the heat, might I add. But then after that, sitting by the pool, thinking, wow, I did it. I had this goal in my mind for years. And it was like just that overwhelming feeling of kind of fulfillment, of
Yeah.
achievement, of something that you've dreamt of doing and had achieved. So they're the first two that I remember like that, yeah.
And what's the fitness industry like, the fitness and modelling industry? Is it very different to like being in, just fitness, PT, etc.? Are you going into a different world of, can
Yeah.
it be quite pressurised? Can it, or you just go with the flow?
I think it depends, and it might be very different now to how it was then, which is, oh my God, like 7-8 years ago that I started doing that. Very different, because social media and influencer marketing really kind of changed the way that is dealt with, and it's very different now. But back then, it did feel different, having an agent and turning up to castings and being judged by your image and your abilities and stuff like that, which you don't necessarily objectively get as a personal trainer. So it was opening myself up to a different world, and it wasn't all easy. I put a lot of pressure on myself in regards to image and being ready for a casting, or like I really wanted those like shirtless jobs so much, whether it was magazine covers and stuff like that. I went through a pretty tricky phase of dieting and overtraining, and the relationship with all of that wasn't quite right. And over kind of practice and repetition and enjoying my own platforms and my own content, I got out of that bad relationship by wanting to just feel good every day and look good every day, rather than a binge restriction cycle that I was caught in,
Right.
from like restricting myself before a casting that's a week or 2 weeks away, doing way too much cardio, not eating, just to get ripped as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then it was done, irrelevant of getting the job done or getting the job. It would send me in a bit of a spiral of eating whatever I wanted, not just for the day, but normally the weekend or a week, or until I had an external motivation to get in shape again, hence the cycle. And none of that was really for me, but for something I was going for. So when I reframed that mindset of this is for me, and I want to feel good when I wake up tomorrow, and I want to have the confidence in my body to film my workouts or do photos or go meet someone, that really kind of helped me. And I think that's really useful for a lot of people, because we're not all going to be fitness models, but we all want to feel and look good every day, and we shouldn't be wanting to get fit and diet for that external thing that we're aiming for. It's nice to have those motivations here and there. The wedding's coming up and the holidays coming up, and great when they come around, but they're pointless unless you get that real ritual daily with yourself.
So would you say it probably did affect you mentally as well? Were there points where you just sat there and just thought, what the hell am I doing to myself?
I don't think I was too aware of it at the time. No, I think I've wisened up over the years to enable me to look back at the time. At the time, I've always been so disciplined, so motivated. So yeah, it might have created some trauma for me to deal with later on, but at the time, it's just what I knew. I would be disciplined enough to put myself through this. But I mean, over kind of multiple binge and restriction cycles, you learn a bit more about yourself, and that it's not that of an enjoyable routine to do. So that wisdom does come over time.
So are you doing more fitness modelling now, or are very particular now with what you do because of how much it has changed from when you first started?
Yeah, I don't do too much official fitness modeling. I'm open to the work when it comes, but I've been so focused on building my own brand and showing up for myself in all those ways, that's been my focus, really.
Do you think it would be a lot harder now compared to what it was years ago? Or again, you've wised up to that, so it wouldn't be as difficult?
In regards to my personal relationship things, no, I'd be able to handle it, no problem. Yeah. And I do often go through different kinds of cycles with my physique or my health or my body, where I'd want to get leaner for a few weeks, but I know now myself, my psychology, and I'm able to do that in a much healthier way, I think. Yeah.
So you brought it up very slightly, and I said we were going to bring it up, talking about the fitness side of things. So back in, I'm trying to think when it was. Was it 2017, 18?
Mm-hmm.
You did the burpee challenge,
Yes.
which was 24 hours
Yes.
of doing burpees.
Should we do a minute now?
Yeah. Oh, do you know, I'd love to, but I'm not appropriately dressed.
Okay, fair enough.
And I remember I came up
Yeah.
with my girls to come and see you. That was just extraordinary. So explain a little bit of what made you do it.
Yeah.
For a start.
I think I was at a time of wanting something big and explosive, an event, to raise money for charity, to do something crazy and out there. I don't know what motivated me. I just had this calling that I was in a bit of a monotonous routine of work and business and social media. I thought, what can really kind of break me out of this? And I remember laying there in bed late one night, and I mentioned it, and it was just that excitable feeling of, yeah, that's great, but not actually thinking it fully through, that I've got to actually do that. But I did go through with the idea, and trained for a few months for it.
What was your training? Actually, I think it's something I've never asked you, apart from just doing a load of burpees. Was it
basically it?
Yeah.
Similar to like a marathon, just building up the hours of burpees, basically. And the way to get better at burpee is to do more burpees, of course, with external strength training and other things as well, but just lots of burpees. And I really wish I'd actually trained better, trained longer. I I built up my hours of burpees for like 2 hours to 4 hours to 8 hours, and I think I did a 12-hour burpee day. I basically woke up like, so we see the 24 hours, but before that I did a few hideous days of training prior to that. But really I needed more, because by 12 hours in the challenge, they weren't burpees, they were something else. I don't know what they were. They're called
A
something
new
else.
exercise.
Yeah, exactly. I invented a new type of burpee for somebody that can't touch their knees or toes or get to the ground anymore. So yeah, I wish I'd trained better for that. But yeah, that was 24 hours, and definitely the hardest day of my life physically. And it was amazing that it was a bit of a public event and people were visiting like you were, and that was probably the best part about it, because whilst I was going through dark periods, because when you beat your body up so much, you have a bit of a internal journey, and to then have people visit and spend the time with me was really kind of special, and felt amazing at the end to look back at
Do you
that
know
journey.
how many burpees you did in total?
Yes, 5,578, I think. That number kind of
It's etched.
somewhere deep in there, never
We
to
should
be
tattoo.
forgotten. Yeah, we should. Yeah, it's a lot.
What?
Yeah.
That is insane. How did you feel? I mean, it's a stupid question because it's obvious you were broken, but how did you actually feel after, and how many days from that was it taking to recover?
Yeah, I was laying in bed. I brought my mattress to my living room and just kind of made that my home for about 5 days, and because I'd been like eating quite well as well and really on it, I then kind of just like was a bit of a slob. Probably didn't do the best recovery routine compared to what I know now with ice baths and active recoveries and all of that. But I really did feel disabled. I couldn't move my back. I couldn't move my hips. So I needed to actually lay down for a good couple of days before trying to move. It was terrible. It was bad recovery. But then I started to move and started
Well, I
to ease up.
take it, was it during the hours during the night? Was that the worst part? Because I'm assuming you didn't have loads of people turning up.
No,
And
I had just like a close core group of people that were there overnight, and it felt very long. We started at 2 p.m. daytime. So, yeah, halfway through the night was halfway where it really started to kick in and get hard. And I remember everyone like ordering like burgers and pizzas for them. But I remember just mentally thinking, I reckon this would be quite fun if I wasn't doing the one doing the burpees. I reckon it'd be quite a fun event to attend, but I'm not attending. I'm literally being the event. So none of that for me. But yes, it was hard to get through, and it felt like the morning would never arrive. It was just
Really?
it was like, where is the sun? Come back up, please. Hours were just spent forever.
what was you eating? What was, in case someone wants to do a 24-hour
Yeah.
burpee, of course.
Yeah, I did a lot of testing myself, bit of research, and it was mainly just a calorific smoothie blend liquid of lots of oats and peanut butter and stuff like that, and then energy gels and electrolytes and all of that. But over a short period of time, say like 8 or 10 hours, I think that would been all right. But the second 12 hours, that felt like it was weighing on my stomach, and it was hard to get through it. Like, needed the energy, but hunger had gone and all of that, so it was a bit difficult. Felt a bit sick and all of that. Yeah.
What would you do another challenge like that again? Not necessarily burpee, but would you think of, right, I want...
At the end of that, I was like, no, none of that. Don't want any challenges like this. I've pushed myself physically to a place that I've never been before. I've learned a lot. I'm a new person because of it. But years later, I crave something a bit like that again. Yeah, probably not burpees.
Okay.
But something. Yeah, I've done a couple of marathons and like a long distance triathlon, but I would like to do something challenging again. Yeah.
Something like a 24, like that thing of that long duration again, or would you want to break it down into something?
Yeah, I think there's something totally different for the people that haven't pushed themselves really deep physically, that you do learn so much about yourself when you take yourself into these dark places. I
Like,
don't
why
know.
did I do it?
Basically, just big, strong thoughts of what are you doing? Why are you doing this? No, more around that we are capable of so much
Yes.
and we can achieve so much physically in whatever we're doing, but mentally, the endurance, the resilience that I learned in that, because so many times you hit some kind of barrier or wall thinking, this is it, this is my maximum, I've got nothing left. And then when you keep going and you hit that wall that you say you've got nothing left again and again and again, you realize that, wow, I had so much more than I thought I
Yeah.
did. So it's just an incredible learning curve on that, and maybe why I'm craving it again. But similar to, I mean, I'm not a woman, I don't have childbirth potential, but I know some mums forget the experience or the pain and say
Yeah.
never again, but end up doing it again. And I'm not comparing, but I think there's this kind of forgetfulness that makes you think, oh yeah, I reckon I could do that again.
Yeah. And as you say, now you've learnt so much from that, you could probably go in mentally and
Yeah.
physically very differently
Yeah.
this time round.
Yeah, maybe with a team, not alone. Share the burden with some friends or something.
Just to clarify, I'm going to be busy on whatever date you're
Oh,
doing
okay.
it.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, I think it is good though. I think it's quite nice if once in your life to really challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Like really challenge yourself. I think. Have you ever done high rocks before?
No, that's on my list.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously,
That's
that's
challenging.
really kicking off at the moment, so that's one thing I get involved in. Have you?
Yeah, I've done it
Yeah.
twice. I'm about to do it third time
Nice.
this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is that never again. I mean, not as intense as what you've done, but it's that, I think that's that feeling of never again. And then as you say, you finish, you go home, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll sign up for that. But you've just moaned for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
before.
it's that exciting feeling of thinking you can either improve upon yourself and make progress. It's a great thing. What kind of training are you doing for that, or do you just mainly show up for the day and push yourself as
I
hard as you
just
can?
pop along, do what I need to do, go home.
You don't need to train.
It's easy. Running is I've noticed with high rocks is a big thing.
Yeah.
Running is, so one thing I don't do enough is the running. So that, but then again, a lot of strength training, high rock simulation workouts. I do enjoy it, but for some reason on the day, it just always it's the running that gets me.
Yeah.
It's the running, that's what I struggle with. I think I wish I could be a little bit better. But it's like you say, I've done half marathons. I don't think I could ever do a marathon.
Yes, you can.
Oh God, I'm going to be signed up to something by the end of the day.
We could do it on the podcast whilst we're here. Come on, let's sign up. Let's do something. I think it's the competitive edge. Sometimes when you're in an environment, you push yourself to the maximum when you're
100%.
around other people, which is what makes it so intense. However short it is, whether it's 10 minutes or a couple of hours or longer, when you're in that environment, you end up really going for it.
Yeah. So moving slightly away from, so you've done all your fitness, you've done your crazy challenge, and you then went into acting. So how long's that been going on for?
Started training about 4 years ago and got my first kind of small job a bit less than 2 years ago. And over the past 1 year, I've had a handful of really cool, great projects. So we're at this exciting phase now where I've done those projects, but they haven't been released or put out there. So it's this stage where
Waiting.
And going to be really exciting for people to see me in a different way, for me to express creatively in a different way and put something new out there. And yeah, things take a long time to make films and short movies and stuff like that. So I am excited, but I've got to keep kind of working behind the scenes on the next things whilst those things come out, hopefully at the end of this year or next year.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So did you go to like, did drama school or acting school when you were growing up? Has it always been in your blood?
I didn't, but it has certainly been in my blood. My family have all been performers, either professionally or in amateur dramatics, and I was thrown on stage when I was younger as a kid with them in shows as a little boy, and then a little bit later in some kind of other things. But I think when sports was more interesting for me and cooler, I was like, stop making me do all that. Let's play football, let's play basketball. And that was that path. And it was kind of off of the radar for me, whilst they're all still singers, dancers, performers, and stuff like that. But I think as the years went by, it was like, actually, it's funny that I used to do all that and didn't want to do it, and now there's this calling within me that wants to give it a go.
What would be your dream role?
You've said it already.
Double O's.
Yeah, that is a dream role, and it seems kind of cliche because obviously a lot of people will be saying that, but I've always loved James Bond, always watched James Bond as a kid, and loved the movies, and it just seems like the perfect role for me. But anything really along the lines of that can tie in the physicality that I've developed and learned and loved in my fitness career. So if that can be some kind of action superhero or something like that, that would be amazing. But the chances to really just be anything and everything. What I've loved about acting so far is so many things, but one thing is having the opportunity to be someone else.
Yeah.
And to explore what that emotion and that journey feels like within me, to take on another character. So, and it's so much of it has enabled me to share more vulnerability and authenticity in myself, because we all see good actors and we all see bad actors, and we often think of the bad actors as the ones that look like they're acting. So to be a really good actor, you have to really share truly and authentically. And if I can't really cry myself or shout or be angry myself, then how am I ever going to portray that authentically from the character's point of view? So whilst I have goals of certain characters, I'm really enjoying the kind of the broad approach of experiencing and exploring a whole variety of characters.
How easy is it for you to kind of get into character? Can you just do the cry now? You can do it.
It's certainly a skill and an art, and I think it improves over time. And yeah, I'm getting better and quicker, and I think it's all really related and connected to so much else that I'm working on, which is an embodiment practice, breath work, coming back to your being, your center, and that is the comfortable place in which you can act better as well, because you need to be comfortable in yourself. And the more I'm practicing that in day-to-day life, sitting here on a really scary podcast with you, or meeting anybody or doing anything, it all requires control of your breath and relaxation. So that is a skill and a practice that a few years ago I didn't know too well, so that I would need a good 20-minute, 30-minute embodiment routine to get ready for a scene or some acting. Whereas now, depending on the scene, it might require a little bit less, depending on what's required. Like the most recent film that I did, I was freezing cold outside. I'm not going to give away the plot, but I needed to be kind of, shall I say, kind of drunk, angry, and a little bit all over the place. So I couldn't just stand off set and just be relaxed. I needed to be a little.
You should come out with me on a Saturday night. I could show it's done.
Damn it! I'm going to bring you to the next film and say, let's get on one. And action. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to wait to see that.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And so script-wise, is it, is that easy? Are you having to really go like over lines, and like, are you like good at retaining that, or do you have a way of try to remember?
Yeah. I think that was before becoming an actor, my biggest fear was learning lines. Like, I can't remember all that. How do they do all of that? But through training and repetition, I realized that was actually the least hardest part for me, actually, because actually when you rehearse and you go over the lines and you work on the scenes, the lines just start coming as a byproduct of actually the rehearsals and going through it. And then, yeah, I was kind of surprised by myself that my brain was just automatically remembering these lines and or these long monologues or things like that. But that mainly came from taking my mind off of it completely and focusing on other aspects that are required in acting. But what I have noticed is that it's very important to learn the lines, because as soon as I don't know the lines like the back of my hand, all I can think about is what are my lines,
Yeah.
what is my next line, and then all other aspects of my acting goes out the window. So
Right.
it is very important for me to know my lines very well, so that I feel comfortable on set to then be free to do fun and exciting things, because the lines are free.
Do you get really nervous?
Yeah, especially at the beginning. Um, and I remember in this most recent one, I was shaking so much, and I was outside. I was like, "Am I cold? Am I nervous? Why am I shaking so much?" But yeah, it was just
How do you
anxiety,
deal with that?
nerves,
What do you do? Do you do your breathing, like you say?
breathing for sure, and movement. Yeah, just trying to move that energy through my body, and go back to relaxation. Yeah, and realize that everything's all okay. I have not been on a big massive budget production yet to feel
Yet.
the real pressure of every take matters and that every minute is however much money. So it's good that each experience of mine so far is like a level up in regards to production and in regards to pressure personally.
How long could you like? How long is a day on set? Are you? Is it a long day?
It really all depends on what you're shooting and what it is, whether you're a lead, whether you're an extra, a small part, what the shooting schedule is, whether you're in a studio or on a location, all these different things. But generally speaking, if you haven't been on a set, you wouldn't believe how much time there is between things, because a production requires a lot, and a lot goes into getting it right. So you watching a film or a series or TV, and you see it all cut together beautifully. But what actually happens on set isn't quite like that. There's lots of setup, lots of production needed between everything.
So hopefully we're going to see you on our screens very soon. I'm
Hope
so
so.
excited. I should get an autograph at the end of this actually, so I can claim it.
Autograph with a selfie.
Yeah, with
An
a
updated
selfie.
selfie.
Yeah, there we go. Lovely. So moving back to the fitness element of things. So fitness trainer, you've been abroad to do some fitness workouts there. So you can explain a bit to us about that and this app
Yep.
that you now have.
Yep.
Tell us more.
Yeah. So firstly, to touch on the abroad stuff, I do have an annual retreat, which is the second time coming up shortly in September. Maybe this goes out after that, so it happens in September. And also, I do sometimes travel to various hotels and offer workouts in these places, which is a great job to do. It's really an amazing opportunity that I can't decline when companies offer me to go out to nice hotels and train their guests for 1 or 2 sessions a day. So more of that to come, hopefully. But then your latter question, yes, I mean, I transitioned my online business to app all the way back in 2019, and it's been building steadily since then, and that's been my main focus, and my main business and my main service is developing and expanding that. But yeah, we're going through lots of changes now that I won't explain or talk about, just in case it hasn't happened by the time this comes out. But yes, there's a lot of evolution happening, and really the app is my hub, my main manifestation of all the things that I believe, my methods of training, nutrition, and I aim to make that the place where I put all of my services, basically. And it's an incredible community of people all over the world that are using this app and communicating with each other, and it gives me so much pride and joy every morning. And like going back to the fitness modeling chat we had about getting motivated for something external, this very much feels like I've got this community. I want to reach more people. I need to be my best in order to be the best coach and the best role model for them for all things health and fitness, but happiness and life overall. So this is what the app is and becoming.
Okay. So you're hoping that to be released soon?
It is released. It's already there.
So it's already released.
It's already there.
So they
It's
go
just-
to your Instagram page. That's where people can find
Yeah,
you.
you can find it via all my links, or just on the app stores. If you search my name, Alex Crockford, you'll find it easily.
Okay. And apart from 007, what also is next for you?
Oh wow. Yeah, I think we've covered some key pillars of my life in this chat, but what comes to mind now really is just a bit of a cohesiveness of all of these aspects into one. Sometimes you could see acting and social media and app as all as kind of these individual things, but what's happening internally for me is quite a personal growth journey of really connecting to my core purpose and passion in life to help people and to uplift people. And all of the projects I take on and the things that I do in my career fit underneath that one purpose and one goal. And that gives me so much direction every day, to say yes to things and no to things, and to feel inspired by things, because if it doesn't fit or align to my true purpose of helping people, then I will not do it.
That's so good though. So how would you like people to know you by? What would be the nicest thing that you think, oh, Alex Croxford, yeah, he's da 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 da. Finish that sentence.
Yeah. I think the best way for me to answer that, how would I want people to think? Probably just that I uplifted them. I put a smile on their face. I empowered them to be their best selves, basically.
I love that.
Yeah.
And also, that's that movie star.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what you're going to say. That's the movie star.
That's the movie star.
100%. Oh, didn't I see him
Love
at that
that.
premiere last week?
They will be saying that.
They will be saying that. And we did speak briefly before, and I am going to bring it up.
Go on then.
People have followed you for years. Your cats.
Yes.
So Baxter and Pickles, I have
Yep.
adored those cats for years. And then obviously you've just
Yes.
mentioned about Pickles.
Yes. Many people love those cats because they turn up in the videos and the workouts and stuff like that
And
all the
plonk
time.
themselves.
Yes, exactly. They are my PT. But yes, I mentioned to you just before that Pickles is no longer with us. But it's been a couple of years without her. Very sad. But Baxter, her brother, is going strong and still annoys me every day with meows and neediness. But yeah, he's very cute, very fluffy, and it's
They're
great.
proud of their dad.
Yes.
Well, listen, thank you for coming on. So we have the app already up and running, so people can go and have a little look if they think, oh, I'm going to see what this is all about. You're off to a retreat, as you say, so we can see what that's all about. I'm sure you'll be able to show us about that. And, of course, probably in some really big movie, jumping out of a helicopter.
Oh my God, yes. You just wait for it.
Oh, I can't wait.
They'll just make me do burpees, probably.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, another big challenge coming our way.
Yes, that as well. Comments in my DMs about some challenge ideas would be great.
Yes. Comment in his DMs what challenge you would like him to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Or on the podcast as well.
Yeah, if I receive those DMs, I know it's come from this podcast.
Yes. And a couple of anonymous ones. It'll be me.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you. And
Thank you.
hopefully you're back on this couch again.
Yeah, please do.
Telling us your big film,
Yeah, thank
your
you.
app, and what your challenge is.
Thank you
because
very
one
much.
of us out there has got you to do it.
Yeah.
You're regretting this now, aren't
I
you?
am. We should never have had that conversation.
Get writing, guys. All right, Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And see you again soon.
Thanks for having me. See ya.
Thanks.
Thank you.